go. I gotta go. To a doctor. Anything. I don't know. I'm fucked up. I feel so fucked up inside. Jesus Christ, I'm burning up inside. Don't you know?
We designed a study in which we knew on day one that everybody who was entering that prison as prisoners and guards were as normal and healthy as possible. One of the questions we asked in our interview is, would you prefer to be a prisoner or guard in the study? And every single one said, I prefer to be a prisoner because I might be arrested someday. Every single one of them said, no, I don't want that role. And we said, well, some people are going to have to play that role.
Is behavior within a prison a result of individuals' personalities, or do institutional circumstances shape it? These questions were the starting point for Philip Zimbardo before he launched the Stanford Prison Experiment in 1971, one of the most famous and strangest psychological studies in modern science. To answer this question, Zimbardo did not simply go to a real prison to ask guards and inmates directly. Because when you sit with a person and ask, they rarely give you a pure answer. Instead, they will attempt to beautify or distort it. Thus, he and his team at Stanford University transformed the basement of the psychology building into a simulated prison. The corridors were sealed off to form cells and a yard, all without windows or clocks. It all began with an ad, a simple announcement seeking volunteers. 24 psychologically healthy college students were selected and randomly assigned the roles of guards or prisoners, in exchange for a daily wage of $15. The story began with arrests, staged as part of the simulation. Palo Alto police carried out real arrests of those assigned the prisoner role directly from their homes. They were transported to the prison in the basement. The prisoners underwent humiliating strip searches and were issued prison uniforms, a smock with no underwear, a nylon stocking cap, and a chain on one ankle as a constant symbol of restraint. The chain's purpose was to produce a quick sense of lost identity. The guards, meanwhile, were given military-style uniforms, wooden batons, and reflective sunglasses, inspired by Cool Hand Luke, to hide their eyes and emotions. They were told, "Do whatever is necessary within limits to maintain order." At 2:30 a.m. on the first night, the experiment began with forced head counts. Punishment soon escalated to more humiliating measures, such as forcing prisoners to stand on each other's backs. On the second morning, rebellion erupted. The guards called in reinforcements, used CO2 fire extinguishers, stripped the inmates naked, and put the ringleaders into solitary confinement. After that, guards shifted to psychological tactics, such as the privilege cell, and sometimes forbade prisoners from emptying their waste buckets to increase humiliation. Prisoner number 8612 showed a severe emotional breakdown after less than 36 hours. Before leaving, he delivered a discouraging message. "You can't get out, no withdrawal," which deepened the sense among inmates that they were in a real prison. Family visits were conducted under strict bureaucratic procedures. Strikingly, parents complied with these procedures rather than demanding their sons be removed. A rumor spread about an escape plan. Instead of documenting this neutrally, the research team acted like a real prison administration. They planted an informant and attempted to move prisoners. When the rumor proved false, the guards returned more harshly than before. Prisoner number 819 broke down in tears when he heard other inmates chanting, "Prisoner 819 is bad." He refused to leave because he felt he had to prove he wasn't bad.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
Only when Zimbardo reminded him, "You are not 819, you are your name. This is an experiment," did he regain composure. By the fifth day, 3 types of guards emerged. The third type became openly hostile and degrading, delighting in inventing new humiliations. These differences had not been predicted by pre-study personality tests. Then came Christina Maslock, a young researcher. She cried out, "What you're doing to these boys is terrible." She was the only visitor who confronted the ethics of the experiment directly. At that moment, Zimbardo realized the situation had spiraled out of control. The study, intended to last 2 weeks, was shut down after only 6 days. The Stanford Prison Experiment demonstrates that behavior is not solely a reflection of personal character. It is also the product of circumstances, authority, and the uniform imposed upon an individual. The college student who wore the guard's uniform was not inherently a guard, but he became one because everyone collectively believed he was. The Stanford Prison Experiment demonstrates that behavior is not solely a reflection of personal character. It is also the product of circumstances, authority, and the uniform imposed upon an individual. The college student who wore the guard's uniform was not inherently a guard, but he became one because everyone collectively believed he was. Despite the heavy criticism, this experiment remains one of the most thought-provoking studies in psychology. What is your opinion? Can a costume truly change your nature? Share your thoughts and analyses in the comments.